Welcome back, Idiot Squared viewers. This week we have a hilarious conversation. We discuss Bitcoin CoinMarketCap comments. We read through a few of those. We discuss the flows of money, the tides, and how that can swimming against the tide can be tough, and trying to understand things from a higher level. We discuss breastfeeding in Japan. We discuss can you pick the dick from the face? Can you pick the face from the dick? We go over a broad variety of different topics. Stay tuned. It's an interesting episode. And again, we saved the best for last. Thank you very much. Enjoy the episode.
Have you ever been to CoinMarketCap?
I have, but not for a while.
It's not a site like I actually like all that much. It's kind of shitty, but the only thing I like about it are some of the comments. Like, I mean, I just find the comments really ridiculous, and sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're insightful, but to be honest, I never really think too much about any of them because who the fuck knows, right? Like, people talk mad shit. So you never know what the fuck is going on at all. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're like, there's companies that will post comments or people promoting like other shit. You know what I mean? Like other bullshit projects, rug pulls, or just,
or that it's just going
scammy.
to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought that we would check out some of these comments, guys. I haven't read any of these comments before, and I wanted to see like what people are saying and what would be your take on it, because since XRP sort of won their case, right? It was deemed not a security. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think things are getting more interesting now. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Things are getting more interesting, and it seems as if China's in a stimulatory phase. So they seem to be wanting to stimulate, which means that it's going to be hard for anyone else or any of the other big countries to not stimulate. So it would be back to the races, so to speak.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, there's so many fucking moving parts, bro. Like, it's impossible to know what the fuck is going on, honestly. And I still feel like it's daddy Bitcoin. Like, nothing's going to happen until Bitcoin gets big again. I feel like it's like the bar still control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I agree with you. I do. I think it is the big daddy as well. You got a lot of interesting things happening, but like, BlackRock and a bunch of big, money managers have admitted or like openly disclosed that they've got allocations in Bitcoin, and that essentially they were buying the dip, so to speak. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm keen to read these comments because, like you said, they can be hilarious. Like, I've read a few over the years, but never really paid much attention to it. But I think I'm going through and reading some of these might be pretty funny. So you've got them up on the screen.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, so Technical 555 says, with the relative winning of XRP and the acceptance of this currency as a decentralized stock, it has stabilized a growing trend of digital currencies. Soon, with the entry of free funds into the global market, and especially the entry of capital into digital currencies, we will see a huge growth in the crypto space. Cryptos will grow a lot. Checkmark to the moon. Yeah, I mean, this one's all right. This one's not as like some of the other ones I've read. But what do you think about this? Do you think this guy is right? Do you think?
I think only time will tell. I think, it's not claiming anything very specific, so it gives a decent probability of, maybe being correct. But it's been really saddening this past periods. That's why I've begun trading with a specialist. She gives me pointers and indicators. Oh yeah, classic spam. There's definitely no specialist. I've been interchanging with her for above a year. Now she's great assistance in exchanging tips. She said Bitcoin will loom this month. And it did. I'm so happy I met Kay. Who is Kay?
Yo, so exactly. This is, I don't know why. I find this so funny. And I sometimes think about, like, dude, have you ever left a comment on a crypto site before? Or
I don't think so, no. I can't remember.
No, I've straight up, dude, I've never left a comment on anything. The only thing I've ever left a comment on were my own videos that I've uploaded. straight up. I've never left a comment on anything in my life. So I find like this so fucking wild that people just like are putting up this shit. And then sometimes you see arguments and they're mad funny and they go on and on.
But you reckon these two are bots or what? I reckon they're bots.
Oh yeah, probably, right? Even the way it's written.
All the engagement is bot engagement as well. It'd be like little bot farms. What else we got?
Crypto Daily says Bitcoin miners face difficulty ahead of having JP Morgan warns. The report suggests that Bitcoin's price and transaction fees need to rise substantially to balance the reduced block reward. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, that's it. Well, at the moment, the block reward isn't a sustainable revenue stream, so to speak, for the miners. But they still seem to be securing their network. So I don't know if the price bumps, and it definitely will be.
Joe Elin Versionista.
Centralized money.
I'm no expert, but I would advise not to listen to anything JP Morgan has to say about any crypto subject. JP Morgan is the king of centralized money and would do anything to stop the most feared opposition, decentralized money, meaning the crypto world. If someone who supports BTC, Ethereum, and DeFi thinks I'm wrong, please shine a light on this. On this hodler. Oh, yeah. I believe we have an amazing opportunity with DeFi. Do not let JP Morgan in.
I think like it's probably too late for that. I feel like they're already probably in.
What's been going on with the JP Morgan thing? I know that they're one of the most powerful. Are they a fund manager?
Well, they're a bank essentially. But yeah, money manager as well. I think that it's well known that they're all probably got allocations in some way, shape, or form in Bitcoin and crypto, and that they've probably funded a bunch of DeFi projects as well. Or have some roundabout way of benefiting from them going up. I think they'd be silly not to. Like, if this is going to be something that challenges it, you'd want to win either way, if that kind of makes sense. It's like a hedge. So I assume that they'd hedge against it.
Maker 5668. Bitcoin looks boring, but soon enough, everyone will talk about it. I predict strong movement upwards soon. Hold it on the spot.
That's a nice sort of cryptic message that actually gives decent advice to say, like, buy spot Bitcoin, hold it. Don't trade the other shit. Hold the spot. Seems kind of good. The price action's definitely been different since FTX has been out of the equation, and there's been some interesting shit happening with Binance.
What has been happening with Binance? I haven't heard anything recently.
Well, they're like they were getting sued. And there were rumors that CZ might have to step down. But I haven't honestly put too much into this. It's just kind of like a couple of people that I follow on Twitter posted some stuff about it. So to take it with a grain of salt. But there's definitely been some like interesting price action between BNB. I think, BNB, and then having to like sell Bitcoin reserves to kind of backstop BNB. But again, not super sure how accurate any of that is.
The last thing I heard was CZ sort of defending himself when there was an interview I saw where people were asking him, what happened to FTX? How do we know that you are not doing the same thing, right? And he was sort of giving some sort of explanation. I don't remember what it was, though. Do you remember that? There's a couple interviews that people asked.
No, I haven't seen it, but I think like the most obvious answer is like he's not an effective altruist. So like Sam Bankman-Fried, the most funny thing is like he wanted to give all his money away, but all he really did was like fucking steal and give everybody else's money away.
Yeah,
little sucker. I don't trust them vegans, bro.
Yeah, 100%, guy. They're trying to ruin the world.
Yeah, he was living off this. Oh, was it Sam's something? It's like a patch that you put on, and it's like essentially like amphetamine. It's like an amphetamine patch. He was wired like constantly. It was like antidepressants and amphetamines and like these crazy cocktails and chemicals that would just have him wired. If you look back in hindsight, it's really obvious. You can look back at interviews and he's like always twitching his leg or like, got nervous. Like he's got so much, what would the word be? He's got so much sort of nervous tension,
Stimulation.
Stimulation. That's the one. Like, highly overstimulated. And then apparently they'll have like mad orgies and shit. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I heard that too. That's crazy. Yo, people were trash talking the girl that he was with. Yo, I was down with her, right? Those big glasses. I would have orgies with her, no problem. I don't know why people were bashing that. I was totally down. I think she was Asian.
Hey?
She was Asian of some
she's
sort.
She's white as.
Really? Fuck. Who? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I remember she was kind of weird looking.
Yeah, she's definitely different looking.
Yeah.
She had a fetish for like powerful men.
Oh, okay. So Sam supposedly was a powerful man. I mean, monetarily, but
yeah, that's right. And short term, he was definitely. I don't know about now. This is interesting. This one you got up, landindex.io. I asked ChatGPT when Shiba Inu will reach $1. It says, it's like, that's hilarious. Like, I don't know. Is this just like baiting people to try and get them to buy it? Like, do these people, like, obviously they've obviously invested in Bitcoin, but like, are they hoping that their posts help it to like rally?
Yeah, that's what I think, dude. I straight up think so. And people they'll go on, like the same people who post here will post the exact same comment on the Matic, Phantom, Solana, like you name it, XRP. They'll go on there and they'll post the exact same shit. So you don't even have to go to the other ones to see these people's comments. Like you just go to the main one, the BTC, I would say, and everything is there. So
I wonder if we did like sentiment analysis on all of the comments, like over a time period, if we could infer anything from this. Like, is there a correlation between the sentiment on the comments here and price action, or is it like an inverse correlation? So like when everyone's really like bullish on these comments, is there like, does the price go down? Or like when everyone's really bullish, does the price go up? Like I reckon we probably could do that. How many comments? Like, can you just go infinitely back on this? Like, is there like a ridiculous amount of these?
I don't know. There are probably. Let's see.
Seems to be a lot.
Yeah, it seems like I can just like keep going.
I wonder if we could get that feed and we could just like do sentiment analysis on all the comments.
The CoinRise Media. After a delay, Europe is gearing up to launch its first spot BTC ETF, marketing a potential milestone in the region's crypto asset landscape. Keep an eye on this space as we bring you more updates.
It'll be interesting to see how many views these things get, eh?
I can only see how many hearts they get. This one got 2 hearts.
Yeah, no. Are these posted from Twitter or what?
I don't even know what I don't use Twitter, so I couldn't even say. But does this look like a Twitter post to you? Is that why you're saying that?
Yeah, kind of does look like a Twitter post. And it's got Twitter at the like. Let's see. I don't know if this is like, is it posted from Twitter and they've got this like it? They pull that onto this feed, or like if you go on, you can write how you feel there. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
you can write.
Exit. You could just write a comment. So. You need to have an account or anything?
God, I don't know. I've never left. I've never like been interested in leaving a comment, so I don't even. I don't even know, guy. Sorry. Yeah, probably. I assume so.
Does anybody know of anyone that does sentiment analysis based off these sorts of websites like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or any of those things, and have like that actually make good predictions based off the sentiment analysis? If you do, comment below. Let us know. I want to read into this. It's an important invention in the history of the world since the internet. Roger Ver. Who the hell is Roger Ver?
I have no idea.
Can we just do a quick search?
Yeah, for sure. Yo, the most important invention in the history of the world. It's a little bit intense, guy. Can you still see my screen?
Yes. I don't know about that. I feel like AI is probably going to be.
Roger Ver is an early investor in Bitcoin. So he's probably a Bitcoin millionaire or billionaire.
What has he done? What else is he notable for?
Guy, I think that might be it. Let's look at his Wikipedia.
I'm down for popping your own bag, but like,
well, I imagine any sort of investor is going to be doing the same thing if they have some, if they're, if they can
Yeah,
be in the
absolutely.
news somehow, or like all these guys have to promote all the shit that they buy into. That's why, if you see someone pumping up a project that they're invested in, you can only take it. Obviously, it's biased.
Yeah, if you see them pumping something, you can almost infer that they'd be invested in it in some way, shape, or form. Which I don't think is a bad thing, right? It's just obviously just understanding that is the case. But yeah, like I don't know about the most important. Like I think Bitcoin's an amazing invention, breakthrough, combination of different technologies. Like leveraging computational irreducibility to secure a network is phenomenal. That's really cool. I'm a fan of it, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be the solution to all the things, unfortunately.
No, fuck no. It's a very minor part in this big picture of things.
Bitcoin price predict until 100K. See you soon, guys. Thanks,
well,
Timmy.
Who was it that said it was going to hit $1 million in 90 days? Who was it?
Balaji.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was that other guy? Damn, we've talked about it. Oh, Sayer. No, Sayer?
Saylor. Michael Saylor.
Michael Saylor. Did he say the same thing?
I don't know. I don't think he would have made that bet. It was I think why Balaji made the bet was to bring attention to the economic situation in America and around the world, different things. I think it was more like a marketing hype thing as opposed to like it being real. Like it was interesting. It got a bunch of people's attention. I was interested in it. I didn't think it was likely that it would go to $1 million. But I thought like what he was doing and the way he was doing it was kind of clever. That makes sense.
Gotcha. Even though I think reading graphs is kind of bullshit, what do you think about this sideways movement for almost the past year?
When's that? What's the time today? June 23.
Oh,
is that June 23?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, this is 1 month. I thought I had
we should be
the
up
1
a
year
bit.
selected.
Yeah, we're up a little bit from the lows.
My bad.
Yeah, look, I'm not a big chart guy. Okay, so can we just have a tangent for a second on what charts are?
Yeah, 100%, guy, because, yeah, go ahead.
So charts are like a very low dimensional representation of a very high dimensional thing. So it's kind of like, all the different things you can measure are like the health stats of a body kind of thing. And looking at one in isolation is like, can be misleading and doesn't necessarily trying to predict next moves off the chart, like off that can work in certain circumstances. It's always obvious in hindsight, that's for sure. But like ahead of time, it doesn't really, like if you're just measuring your heart rate, predicting the next heart rate based off like previous heart rates, if you have like a regular routine that you go through, could be pretty useful. Does that kind of make sense? Like if you regularly wake up and do the same thing, you go for a jog, go to the gym, you do this, you do that, and you have enough data on your heart rate, then you could probably with a certain degree of certainty predict your heart rates in the future. Yeah. But if you change your routine, then all of those historical predictions go out the window. Does that kind of make sense as an analogy?
Absolutely. There's too many moving parts to just solely attempt to read a graph and predict the future. I think it's impossible. I think the guys that talk about the the double shoulders with the head and the whatever the fucking analogy that they use is, I think it's all bullshit. And it's because like what you said, they're only looking at a unidimensional thing in such a multidimensional world. Is that basically the analogy in a nutshell?
Yeah. And the other but the head and shoulders and that kind of stuff, like there is some merit to it. Like it isn't all bullshit. That's the crazy thing. Like, well, it kind of is, but because people believe that it is a thing, then it kind of becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, like it does, but sometimes I feel like, well, you can say that you were right if you make the right call, and if you make enough calls, you might make enough right calls after a while, and And, so I mean, I think sometimes it could be a lot of that as well, to be honest. But I just think
Yeah.
look, Twitter, remember when Elon, he basically he initiated one of the biggest pumps and one of the biggest dumps of Bitcoin. Remember that? Sorry, I'm just plugging in.
When he was buying into Bitcoin.
Yeah, like he pumped up Bitcoin like crazy. And then when he dumped it, it dropped like crazy. He had a huge effect on the market. And that was just one person.
But yeah,
on Twitter.
Yes. But I would also, like, if you zoom out a bit from just the Elon, if you look at what was happening in the world with monetary policy and the flows of money at the same time, it correlates with that, right? So it just so happens that when he was selling his Bitcoin and his Tesla stock was like the top of the market. Yeah. And then the contraction or the change in money flows, the contraction in money supply started to sort of kick in about that time as well. And so he timed it really well. So I don't know if you could say, like, if you zoom in and you just look at Elon, you could say, oh, he caused this and he caused that. But if you zoom out, you realize that it was like a confluence of other factors as well. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Do you think Twitter can have an effect on the price of Bitcoin in any way?
As like a platform? Yeah, there's 300 million people. Is it 300 million users on Twitter? Something like that? With like, there's a lot of billionaires and people with a lot of money on there. So like, yeah, if they're getting their information and making decisions based on that, then absolutely, yeah.
What other large factors do you think?
Well, so I think it's a good way to sort of analogize. Like, if you think about the flow of money, right? The creation and the putting of money into a system and the pulling of money out of a system, and then the way that money flows throughout the system. Like if you think about like the planet as like an organism, all right, and the central banks are like the hearts that pump the money around. Does that kind of make sense? So if you zoom out far enough, you can sort of, at a very high level of abstraction, you can sort of see that there is a flow of money. Like money will be created in places, and then it will start to get pushed through to different areas, right? So like, governments can do this when they provide like programs or incentives or funding for different stuff, right? Central banks, when they're lower interest rates, make it like easier for people to sort of get money. So there's more money in the system. So it's like flowing through. But then you want to look at like, okay, how does the money flow around the world? How does it go from country to country, person to person, all that kind of different stuff. Yeah. So what was happening with the COVID stuff, like there was lots of money created. And so there's more money in the system. And so then, there's that argument that's why the Bitcoin and the crypto and all the risk assets pumped so high, was because there was just so much extra liquidity or money in the system. Yeah. And it had to go somewhere. And these tokens sort of absorbed that, right? Like they took that money on board because there was just so much of it around. And then as that money got pulled out, they all started to crash. Yeah. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, that makes sense, guy.
And so it's finding the right levels of abstraction to look at it from. And so if you think now, like we've been in a sort of contractory period, if that's even a word, where the money's getting pulled back out, if that makes, like the money's getting pulled out of the system or reallocated, and interest rates are going up. So it's, it's harder to get loans for things. So you got to pay more money to get a loan. So the cost of money is going up, right? Like money's becoming more expensive, so to speak. And so if you look at those big flows, then if you zoom out enough, you can see that when the crash happened, when the prices all went down, it was because there was that contraction starting. So the COVID times was the money, like lots of money flowing in through the system, which pumped all these things up. And then as that money came back out, they all deflated back down again. Some of them went to zero. There's a bit of a reshuffling, etc. But like, I think looking at that high level view, like what's actually happening at a global scale with money, like how much money is being created or how easy is it to get money or what the cost of money is. That's kind of like being able to tell the tide. Yeah. And like, there's no point trying to swim against the tide, so to speak.
Have you been recently making any crypto purchases?
Negative. I've been almost completely disconnected from it.
Why is that?
Because I've been down AI rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah, I got you, guy.
Yeah,
Got you.
Hey,
what AI rabbit holes have you been down lately?
Meta learning. So like, I've been mad interested in learning how to learn. Or what does it even mean to learn how to learn? Like, so, given some sort of like, random data about a thing, what's the optimal algorithm for learning what's going on in that thing? Also understanding like how like what are transformers doing, or what is machine learning doing, to be able to make cool outputs like GPT-4 does, or those kinds of things. And it's fascinating that next word prediction works as well as it does. And then, like, you wouldn't think that just predicting what the next word's going to be would lead to some of the outputs that you get from these models.
Okay.
But yeah, I just been fascinated with like obviously like learning is important, right? So like, if we start with the premise of like knowledge is power, okay, and then like, well, how do you get knowledge? Well, you get it via learning. Well, so then learning is very valuable. And then you realize like, well, if learning's valuable, learning how to learn is really valuable. Okay, so like learning how to learn. So I've been down a rabbit hole with learning how to learn, like in a human sense, and what that sort of means. And then you go, okay, in a the non-biological sense, which is machine learning or artificial intelligence. What does it mean there? And then just looking at the space of algorithms that currently do that is fascinating. And just like the different ways that you can go about it. And yeah, that's what I've been really focused on, just because it's intellectually stimulating. Like back in the day when Bitcoin came out, there was a white paper, like I read that. I was really interested in all of that. I thought it was a really cool use of like technology and like different things from different areas. Like again, like computational irreducibility, like using that to secure the blockchain is really interesting. It's a novel use case for that. But then, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the AI stuff is going to have way more legs to it. And like, as someone who's very curious and interested in a lot of different things, a hard thing to come to the realization, or well, one thing you realize when you go down this is that we've got finite time and we're computationally bounded, which means like you can't learn all the things you might want to learn. Like there isn't enough time in my life to read all the books that I might want to read, or, the different things I might want to explore. And then you go, okay, well, shit, if you could get machines to do that, they could like, find the really cool stuff and then like teach it to you. And not just like teach it to you in like the traditional sense of like, you go to a class and you sit down and do that kind of stuff. It could teach it to you in a way that would like almost like guarantee that you understand it intuitively in like the most efficient way. Like it could know you so well that it could then teach you so easily. Part of the thing with trying to learn new subjects is like the teachers or like the people who write the textbooks, they don't really know what you don't know, or they don't know how to like bridge that knowledge gap to you using stuff that you already know. And I think like that's where AIs are going to be super useful, because they can know you, they can know where your gaps are, they can know your world, they can know your belief system, and then they can like frame things to you in that way, or they could use relevant analogies to help bridge the knowledge gap. And I'm just fascinated by that. And like, I don't know, it's way more interactive than in Bitcoin or crypto. Like you can have conversations, you can explore different topics with these AIs, and it's just fun. I don't know.
What's a way you can invest in AI right now?
Buy GPU making stocks. Like buy stocks of companies that make GPUs.
And why companies that make GPUs? I don't understand.
Oh, well, GPUs are the hardware that is used in machine learning and AI predominantly.
Okay.
So they do matrix multiplication essentially, and that's like machine learning AI is just matrix multiplication. And so that's what GPUs do. So the funny thing is, this is hilarious because GPUs were invented for their graphical processing units, right? So they were produced
Yeah.
to process graphics for gamers. And then Bitcoin came out, and then they were used, like GPUs were used to mine Bitcoin, right? Because they were also good at doing those kinds of problems. And then now GPUs are for AI. So yeah, if you bought Nvidia stock like, a year ago, you'd be doing pretty well right now.
Oh, okay. Like NVIDIA?
Yeah, Nvidia. And I don't know. I reckon there's probably there could be a case for AMD. So George
AMD,
Hotz,
yeah. That's another big one, yeah.
yeah, George Hotz has been hacking on a project to try and make AMD hardware more effective and more useful for machine learning. If he pulls that off, I think there's like a good bull case to be made for AMD stock as well. But at the moment, they're likely probably like overbought at the moment. Like there's a fair bit of hype. So some people are still predicting that there could be a bit more of a downturn later on this year, but it all depends on what happens with the global money flow, right? Like if China's going to keep printing and keep stimulating, then it's going to be hard for everybody else to sort of pull back.
So there was an app that I used to have. I think I still have it, but I don't know what happened to the user base. It's called Iris. And on this app, Iris, Nancy Pelosi would essentially post her stock trades. And when she posted that she bought into NVIDIA, I think it was about a year ago, I actually bought in a little bit, but I was forced to sell down the road. So I didn't make a whole lot, but I was planning on buying everything that Nancy Pelosi was posting on there.
Is it
dude, it was
actually
fucking nuts.
her? Was it actually her, or
No,
was it somebody following
I
her
don't
stock
know.
trades?
It would say the name was like Trades of Nancy Pelosi, something like that.
Yeah.
Here, I'll open the
So
app.
that's just somebody. That's just somebody tracking her, like what she's buying.
Yeah, you can see her picture right there.
Yeah.
You see it?
I gotcha.
Yeah. So I was following like her trades because she's the inside trader.
There's a bunch of them. There's a Twitter account that follows like all the Senate, the political people in the US, and follows their stock trading and looks and shows you how like up or down their portfolio is. There's some people that are like savants, really. Like they've made some great trades over the last few years.
Guy, my dad was talking to me recently about hydrogen, because there's been lots of talks about hydrogen, and it's like a next big thing. Ty would have mentioned that they saw hydrogen as the future in cars over EV. I think there's space for both, but hydrogen could have a huge potential to grow. One stock that my dad was telling me about was Plug. I think that's the name, Plug something. And I think that's an American company, I believe. And there's another one in Canada called BLDP, and they're in hydrogen as well. What do you think about hydrogen? Do you see a potential in that?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's promising in the fact that it's like it's powerful and all of those things, but I don't know about it. Like, I think there's lots of people that make arguments about it being not a good, reliable fuel source because it's relatively it's quite dangerous driving around with the hydrogen fuel cell. Like, if something went wrong with it, that would be a very big problem. Like that's a bomb. Hydrogen bombs are dangerous. Just straight up, hydrogen bombs are dangerous. And driving around with a hydrogen fuel cell is essentially driving around with a hydrogen bomb. But obviously the more powerful something is, the more potential it has. So yeah, like if harnessed appropriately, then for sure it could be really promising. But I think there's if we go back to that analogy of like where are the tides, I think at the moment the tides are into electric and battery. I don't know if that tide's going to shift towards hydrogen, and there also seems to be a growing tide towards nuclear, and with AI and machine learning and things like that, like solving the fission problem seems to be doable. So then that would mean that we just have abundant electricity, which would sort of, negate the need for hydrogen fuel cells to be used, because we could just have abundant electricity that would need to be stored in batteries.
Have you ever been to Vietnam?
Negative, guy.
Does it
Actually,
interest you to
have
go?
I been to Vietnam? No, wait, hold on. Let me think about that. How have I been to Vietnam? No, I haven't been to Vietnam.
Does it interest you to go there at all?
Yes.
Like, what have you heard about it?
So my dad's traveled around Vietnam. He loved it. He said it was quite a culture shock though. Just like there's just a huge amount of people in some of the cities. Like it was just like literally person to person, and just like a very interesting cultural experience. But he loved it. And he said that was some of the most beautiful parts of the country he's ever seen.
I learned how to ride a motorbike in Ho Chi Minh City.
Now that's going to be intense.
Dude, it was
super busy in Ho Chi Minh City, right?
It's so busy that you're bumping into other motorbikes constantly. Yeah. It's a normal thing, people bumping into each other, and like nobody really bats an eye at it. It's fucking. It looks so ridiculous and so intense and crazy, but for some reason, it works. I don't know how, but it works. It's a lot better than Cambodia. When I drove a motorbike in Cambodia, I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore. It was so fucking crazy in Cambodia. There wasn't any like people were going, like there's a double, what's it called? Like people going this way and people coming this way. A double
flow of traffic.
Yeah, there wasn't that. It was just like meshed. Like it was like people were going on the wrong side of the street constantly. There was traffic jams going like on the wrong side of the street. It was crazy, and people going through intersections, kind of like like crossing over each other.
Yeah.
And it was too much for me. Like that was like my limit. I wasn't riding a motorbike for very long at that point because I learned in Vietnam and I went to Cambodia after. But for some reason, like learning in Vietnam, like I didn't have any bad experiences. Like it was dope.
So there was just probably slightly more sort of road rules, or like a little bit more adherence to them. Create a little bit more order in the flow, where it's like it seems like Cambodia was just a bit more chaotic.
Yeah, it was scary driving in Cambodia.
Yeah.
But I'm mad pissed that I never went to this one place in Vietnam. I want to show you, dude. It's so crazy. And I never even knew it existed. Apparently, this place was like recently discovered, like in the 90s, I believe. It might be 95. Can you see it?
Yeah, wow.
I don't know if it was like 100% discovered in 95 or a portion of it was discovered, because there was another thing I saw that the cave is bigger than they believed. So I don't know if that happened in 95 or the whole thing was discovered in 95. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you click on one of those images?
It just changes when I click on it. You want to make it bigger?
Yeah, let's get a bigger one. It looks amazing. Where is
it? It's in the middle of Vietnam. It's near the Lao border. Like it's close to Vientiane in Lao. Like, I don't know. I think it would be faster going to Ho Chi Minh City and then going up. It's in the middle of Vietnam. Like Ho Chi Minh City is like at the bottom of Vietnam, and then Hanoi is at the top, and this place is like in between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. So it wouldn't take very long to get there. Like Vietnam isn't that big.
I'm mad like the Vietnamese names. Son Doong.
Yeah. Apparently it's a 6-mile long cave that is huge. You could fit skyscrapers inside it, was what one guy said on Joe Rogan on one of the not most recent Rogan podcasts, but a couple months ago, I think. he mentioned that it's incredibly massive and it's 6 miles long, and you don't see daylight for 2 days.
Whoa. What do you mean? Like when you're going in there?
Yeah, I guess like getting through it takes you 2 days to get through the 6 miles, and there's no
I feel like,
daylight. That's what he said.
can't you just like walk in from the top there?
I don't know how it works, Scott, but we have to go and we have to fucking budge it. Like
Yeah,
I would love to. There's huge lakes inside.
I don't know, guy.
Like, look at this.
I get, yeah, but fucking caves, dude.
You don't like caves?
Ah, negative. Fucking,
Why not?
I like autonomy, guy. I like a bit of freedom. And get there, the cave is just like, yo, if shit fucks up in that cave, you're dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's when you say it's 2 days without light, like, yeah, if some shit goes wrong, we could be fucked up.
If you're stuck in a cave for long enough, you lose your sight, actually. I think after 3 or 4 days in complete darkness, your eyes begin to get affected.
Yeah, I think you've got quite a bit longer than 3 or 4 days before you lose your sight, but I think it
you don't lose it. You don't lose it, but it starts getting affected. You know what I mean?
That's the same thing as when you're born, or when a baby's born. If you leave the baby in a dark room for like a couple of weeks or even a couple of months, your eyes won't connect to the brain, essentially. Even though your eyes are a part of your brain, they're just full. But anyway, you just, without the stimulus of light, you just don't develop vision.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it. Correct. Is there like, can we go onto like, can you go onto like Pinterest and type in the name of this place?
Okay. Son Doong.
Oh,
yeah.
Son Doong. I'm mad at tree because like top left, it's like, there's like, it's water in the caves.
There's mad water. There's lakes in the cave.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an idea of how big this sucker is. There's like, there are people's tents in there on that other picture. But like...
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, guy. Like, I think camping there would be so dope.
Yeah, as long as it didn't fucking rain.
Can you see it bigger now?
I've still got your same screen on there, guy. I can't even see your Pinterest screen. You can go to share that.
Oh, what the fuck? Before, like, I didn't have to do it that way. If I changed the... It's so annoying, fucking sharing screen sometimes, guy. Like, the rules changed. Too many... I feel like if I click whatever window I click on, it should just automatically change that fucking window. Like,
I agree with you.
Riverside, get your shit together. We're fucking paying for this shit. I don't know how to use Pinterest, guy.
That's all good. It looks fake, eh?
Yeah, exactly. The image is probably mad edited though. They probably put mad saturation and like leveled up the colors a lot to make it look this way. So not to say it doesn't look spectacular, but
so guy,
for sure the colors have been edited.
My whole thing is like, if it takes, you know how you were saying it takes 2 days to get there, right? Is that to this point? Because if it takes 2 days to get to this point, wouldn't you just like flash it from the opening up ahead there and just like walk down it?
God, I don't know, guy.
Maybe it's hella
we
sketchy.
Could start our own tour, guy. We go to Vietnam and we'll start from this fucking end. We'll bring people to here first. This looks like the best part anyways, guy. It's like a little beach.
I'm gonna have to get over my cave fear before we do that, guy.
I might have to get a what?
I'm gonna have to get over my cave fear.
Yeah, let's talk about your cave fear, guy. What is this about?
Guys, I completely trapped somewhere like where I have like little ability to do anything in regards to if I survive or die. Like, it's just crazy. Okay. So I've been in a bunch of caves. When I was younger, we went and did this really cool cave experience where like you got so deep into this cave, it was so dark that if you held your hand in front of your face, you didn't know your hand was there. You know how normally like you can hold, even though something's dark, you still know where your hand is? Yeah. It was so dark that I would hold my hand in front of my face and I would not even know. Like, I couldn't tell where my hand was. That's how dark it was in this game. I thought that was really cool. I wasn't scared. And I'm not like scared. But I'll tell you where this awareness of the dangers of caves came from. There's Joe Rogan episode with Cowboy Cerrone. You know Cowboy Cerrone, that UFC fighter?
If I saw him,
Okay.
it's ringing a bell, but I can't say for sure.
All right, just quickly do a small tangent on your screen share there. Just type in Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy and then Cerone.
Okay. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Just look at this last picture, dude. So sorry. This is like probably the second best picture of the whole thing. Look where the guys
that's
popped
insane.
up.
Yeah.
I would love to go up on that thing, guy. Looks fucking so sick.
It looks hella sketchy on the way up there, guy. That looks just like mossy, slippery rock.
It's giving me a boner looking at it, guy.
No, I'm down. Like, I'll definitely go with you. But I need to do a little bit more research.
I know you'll get over this fear, guy. It's a good opportunity.
It's kind of like a pseudo. It is and it isn't a bit. It's just more like an awareness, right? So Cowboy Sororities, a UFC fighter. He's a mad dog, right?
How do you spell him? How do you spell his name?
Just right, Cowboy.
Oh, Cowboy.
Yeah. And then Cerrone, Cerone.
All right. I'm so terrible with spelling, dude. All right.
Me too, guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen this guy before, but I don't follow too many people from the UFC. I watch it sometimes.
So he had a Rogan episode, right? Like I like Cowboy Cerrone is a funny guy.
Yeah.
This is the dude. So he's into like cave diving, right? And he was mad big into exploring caves and diving into caves, like underwater and shit as well. So you could get to places like that, right?
Yeah.
And he tells this story on Rogan, and it fucked me up. Like legit, it fucked me up. But like it made me very aware of the reality of caves and this sort of shit. So long story short, spoiler alert, we're going to wreck the story, but go watch it on Joe Rogan. Cowboy Cerrone cave dive story. It's intense. Anyway, he tells this story about how him and his buddies would go cave diving all the time, and his wife like really wasn't like a fan of it. Like she was very concerned. And anyway, so he like talks about this time he goes down into the cave with his buddy who's like super experienced and all the rest of it. But he was like, he had a weird feeling, like he's like he was kind of like second guessing whether or not he should do it, kind of thing. And then his wife's like, like I really want you to like be careful, and like I'm worried about you going and doing this again, like something could go wrong. And he's like, there's all these rules, like if someone gets fucked up underwater, like you don't try and save them because then you'll die, right? So it's like if someone fucks up, you've just got to let them, and you've got to be okay with that. Like that's one of the rules of like cave diving, apparently. Okay, because then like if you go and try and help them, they can fuck you up, and then you both end up dying. And so like one person dying in this sense is better than two people kind of thing. Anyway.
Okay, but like, sorry guys, sorry. What do you think is an example of a situation where you can't help your buddy?
Okay, so we need a bit more context. So these guys are going through caves, but they're also doing cave diving, which is underwater caves. So they're going through caves that are like full of water to get to places that aren't full of water or are still full of water, but they can explore, right? So
I got
this,
that.
like
I got that guy.
Well, so think about there's all this sediment that sort of settles on the walls of the cave, and any little movement you can sort of like perturb that, and it'll start to make the water cloudy, right? So then you've lost your vision, so you don't know which way is up or down, and you lose your sense of bearings because there's no sunlight, there's no nothing. You don't know up from down, left from right. Like you can get discombobulated very easily. So in a lot of these caves, if they've been explored, they'll have like a rope, like a guide rope that you can hold on to. But you still don't know whether or not you're going up or you're going down, right? Especially if the water gets cloudy. And so what can happen if somebody gets a bit discombobulated, they start thrashing around, then they start perturbing all of that sediment, and then that starts to cloud the water, and then you can't tell which way's up and which way's down, and you only have a certain amount of air or oxygen available. So you can only do things for a certain amount of time. So if you spend half your time going the wrong direction, well, then you're not going to have enough air to get back out. So like all of these things become incredibly important because of like where you are. Like it's just, you're so far from like the natural human habitat that you got to be really careful of this kind of stuff. Anyway, he's got this story with his buddy, and they go down, super experienced, and something happens to his buddy, and he starts like thrashing around, like he starts panicking, and he starts like making like clouding the water and all this sort of stuff. And he was like, fuck. And so he wanted to, like, he checked how much oxygen he had. he like made sure he knew exactly where he was, kind of thing. And he's like, "Oh, I could go and try and help him, but like if I do that, I can only go and help for so long because I'm only going to have so much oxygen or whatever." Anyway, he goes and tries, can't do it. Eventually, you there, guy?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. So, and then like he tries to help him, he can't help him, and his body dies under there, guy. And he's got to come out. His wife and his kid are out there, and like his friend and one of his good mates has just died down in this cave because of like how fucking sketchy caves are.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa. Yeah. Fuck.
I butchered the story.
Crazy.
So go watch the real story. Cerrone,
No, you didn't butcher the story. I fucked it up, guy. I derailed it, guy. My bad.
No, not you at all. It's a really good story. I highly recommend people go and listen to it. But yeah, like that was the point for me where it became like hyper real about like how dangerous that shit really is. Like just the lack of like, you can do a lot to prepare. You can make sure you've got enough, a certain amount of oxygen to get in and out. You can make sure you've got like the ropes to guide you. You can make sure like a whole bunch of different stuff, but like you really don't have that much control in those environments.
That's wild because he had to leave his buddy there. That's a fucked up story, man. That's fucking me up a little bit too.
It's intense, guy. Well, honestly, watch the pod. He tells it way better. He explains like all of the stuff.
Yeah. No, that was a good story, guy. I have a cave story. You might not like this. It's not anywhere as intense as his because nobody died. but you might not like it though. I was in Laos and I met these German guys there, and we were in Luang Prabang, I believe. It's like northern Laos. Mad fucking sick. Like if anyone ever decides to go to Laos, mad recommend it. Go to Luang Prabang and also go to Bang Vieng, something like that. And but anyways, there was these tubing cave, like these caves with water that you could get on a tube, and then there's this line, and you just pull yourself like along this line deep into these caves. And the caves are like very big. It's you could have like two people side by side, probably. It'd be comfortable. But you're all in single file pulling this line to get down this cave. And you have the choice of going with a tour guide or on your own. And we're like, yo, fuck it, we'll just go on our own if that's an option. You know what I mean? So we decided to go on our own, and we went down to where you're supposed to go, like where the guide takes you. And there's another part where you're not supposed to go. And we were kind of curious, why can't we go over there? And because we weren't with anybody, we're like, yo, fuck it, let's just go down over there. So we took it all the way down to the end. And at the very end, we found this pool area thing. It was so fucking dope. And there was a sunlight coming in, right? So we could see like the bottom of it because the water was clear. So we went like swimming and we went diving into this, I don't know what to call it, like a cavern part in this cave. And I remember feeling like so free because we went to somewhere we weren't supposed to go and ended up being the best part of the whole fucking cave. So it was sick. And then we went in deep into this cave. Like I remember like on the way out, because on the way in we were so excited, like I didn't even remember the time. But when we were coming out, like it took us like 40 fucking minutes to get out. And I was like, holy shit, like this is a little bit concerning. Like we went this deep, like for real. Like I wasn't even like aware.
Yeah, you can definitely get lost, and your sense of time as well. Like it's weird how we don't really notice the effect that like the sun has on our ability to navigate, and the effect it has on our perception of time too. Does that and when you go into caves like that, when you can't see it, you sort of lose that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense if you use the sun to sort of.
Well, we sort of subconsciously do. We don't necessarily know that we're doing it, but we do. It was just like you were saying that you didn't realize how long you took to get down there. Part of that's probably getting lost in the enjoyment and the excitement of like going deep and exploring somewhere that you weren't meant to be doing, so to speak. But that's like a very positive cave story. I mad like that one. That's like a very happy ending.
Yeah. So, Guy, you'll be fine with me, Guy. I promise our cave experience will have a happy ending, Guy. More than one happy ending, by the way.
How do these things sound so fucked up? That's hilarious.
I made it sound fucked up, Guy. We have to both finish. Good. Yeah. So there's going to be 3 happy endings, essentially.
3.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we're going to be happy that we did it. Oh, sure. Okay, 4 happy endings then. one that we finished it, and then we got to jerk off the tour guide. I'll jerk off the tour guide, Guy, or we can take turns. And then you got to jerk me off.
I'll wait to see the tour guide before I make my judgment.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Don't you find it? Don't you think like we could have like an idea of what his dick might look like just by looking at his face? Do you think faces have any relations with the way dicks look?
I don't know. That's actually that could be a data science problem.
What about
you
boobs?
could definitely do that. I think we probably could. I don't know how accurate that would be.
What about boobs? Like if you see a picture, like a pair of boobs, and then you see a face, right? But you don't know if the face matches the. Okay, no, hold on. Sorry. So you have like a series of boobs, like 4 different sets, and have 4 different sets of faces, and your job is to guess which boobs belong to which face. Do you think that you'd be able to somehow correlate the look of a girl's boobs with her face?
Look, I'd like to think that I could for sure. I don't know how accurate I'd be. I reckon it'd be better than just luck. Luck of the like it'd be better than random. Sorry, like it'd be better than that. Yeah, I would say so. What about you?
I just feel like that'd be a fun game. If you just like try to match boobs to faces, like taking a guess.
Did we just create a new viral
app? It could be fun, right? Like you would have to do something to the skin tones to change them. And it would be really funny because you would be looking at the size, the nipple, the color of the nipple. You know, you'd be just looking at so many different things, trying to analyze like, no, these boobs definitely belong to this girl. And when you get it right, like, oh fuck! And then sometimes it'd be mad surprised, like those weren't her boobs. Oh, and if you get it wrong, it shows you what her boobs actually look like. So you could be like, oh, are you fucking serious? I didn't expect the nipple to be like that.
That's exactly
oh my gosh, she's got way bigger tits than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she barely has titties, man. Fuck, I was expecting knockers.
She got them big areolas.
Yeah. Those pancake nips.
I know somebody who calls them coffee stains.
Who calls them what?
Coffee stains. Like, if you spill your coffee on like a napkin, and the coffee, like black coffee, you tip it onto like a napkin and it stains it. Yeah, he calls them coffee stains.
Coffee. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I just understand.
We're not being derogatory. We're just talking about things that have been said. But okay, did we just come up? Was that just is that a new viral app that we could do?
Yeah, I reckon we could, Guy. Why not? That was kind of funny. Interesting.
Do we call it face match? And you just got to match like people's feet to their face, people's boobs to their face, people's dicks to their face, people's booties to their face,
vaginas to face.
Arms to face.
Yeah. You got some people who like kind of like weird shit, right? So it could be.
What did Facebook start as? Face smash? Was it face smash?
I don't know. I don't know what it started as. I thought it started as like a way where university students could connect. But I don't remember.
Okay. Could we let's just ideate this idea out real quick. If anyone's watching this pod and you're going to build it, let us know. Okay, give me 1 second. I just need to. What was Facebook first called?
Guy, I've had a couple of girlfriends where I was surprised with the boobs. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a couple that.
What was your prediction?
And vaginas that caught me off guard. Actually, sorry, more than boobs, vaginas are the ones that have caught me the most off guard. Actually, yeah, they're just all of them are just so different. They're so fucking unique. It's just strange. Like there's probably for sure a lot of categories, but from the vaginas that I can remember. They're all very, very unique. Yeah. Some very, very beautiful, like, whoa, like porn star vaginas, and then some like beat up, like fucked up, like, yo, whoa, what happened to this vagina? You know what I mean? Was it in an accident? Is it hurt? Did something happen? Like, are you recovering from something? You know what I mean? Sort of thing. But, and maybe they are, guy, you know what I mean? But I still love those vaginas all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I'll still make love to it.
There's a famous art installation thing. A guy did, he went and he plaster casted like hundreds of women's vaginas. And then he's got them all up, like, you know, the plaster cast of the vagina all up as an art installation. It's fascinating, the variance in the way that that they look, like the appearance of them change. Yeah, sorry, the variance in their appearance, essentially. Do you remember that there was a show back in the day called Embarrassing Bodies or Medical Mysteries, or had this British guy is like kind of like thinning on top with his hair, is blonde. He was a blonde doctor. Embarrassing Bodies or Medical Mysteries. Anyway, I used to be fascinated with that show. Like, it was just like, what? This is crazy. Like, this shit happens. Like, what? And I remember there was this one episode, right? I remember this so vividly. There was this one episode where this guy and this girl, they were a couple, and they were like in their, you know, early 20s or mid 20s. They came on to the show, and he's like, okay, so, you know, what are we dealing with? What's the medical mystery? Embarrassing body or thing. And anyway, so this chick, she had 6-inch labia, like the labia, 6 inches long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Hung down quite a way. And then the dude, her boyfriend or partner or husband or whatever they were, his the skin from his ball sack attached to the tip of his dick. So it was like a big sail. So you know how you don't have the balls and then you got the penis, right? But like his balls attached to the tip of his dick. So it was like, you know, it's like the hypotenuse.
So she has the dick that he never had.
Well, no. So he still had a decent dick, but his
right.
It wasn't like it wasn't a cylindrical shaft. So that, like, he had the cylindrical shaft, but then he had like a sail from the tip of his dick to his balls that like stuck out. So I don't know, like I feel like that would be strange and wouldn't, like, it would be hard for your dick to use. But then she had 6, and I was like, what are the chances that these two people met and became a couple? Like, yeah, she was probably hella insecure about her thing. He was probably hella insecure about his thing. They met each other like, yo, yours is more fucked up than mine is fucked up. So they're like, let's bond.
Yo, absolutely, anyway, guy. Match made in heaven.
That just freaked me out. I was just like, not freaked me out, but it was just like, wow, there's some interesting stuff that happened. Okay, we need to get back to this app, man. This is a thing. So Facebook was called Face Match. That was the first thing. We're going to launch Face Match. Can you match the face to this piece of genitalia or this body part? I feel like that's a thing, guy.
Yo, absolutely, guy. I think it's funny.
How are we gonna get a database of breasts and dick pics?
Do you think we could AI generate them, or people would be pissed off because it's not real?
Well, yeah, I feel like that defeats the purpose. Well, I actually no, we could do it. You could do it through that AI. You create an AI person, like an AI character, and then I feel like it has to be real.
Yeah,
could be a new dating service.
A new dating service. That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. A new dating service, bro. Yo, fuck yeah.
It's like a puzzle. You've got to complete the puzzle. You know what I mean?
So if you guess some girl's vagina and she guesses your dick, it's a match?
That could be a thing. Or you could just be like, you could pick from all the dicks or vaginas or the boobs that you like. Right? and then you start trying to pick the faces. And then like you just narrow it down that way. It's like a different way. Like people go from the face first. We're flipping it on its head. We're doing like genitals first.
Oh,
Sex
this
organs
is
first. You know what I mean?
hilarious.
Like, I like
Yo,
that dick.
yeah, yo, I don't see anything wrong with that because judging someone on their face is no different than judging them on their dick. What's the difference?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, so you just have like dick pics and then your profile the same. I'm an adventurous dick, and I've been to many places, and I've inserted this penis has been inserted into many vaginas, 119, 49 of them are Asian.
Oh my God.
You would just have dick stats.
Dick stats.
You know what I
Tit
mean?
stats.
So the girl's like, yo, like, whoa, fuck, he's fucked too many like girls. I'm not down, you know? Or maybe she doesn't want him fucking white girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. I feel like that could be gamed way too easily. He would just lie. I don't think we might have overcomplicated it there. I think if we leave with just the pics,
yeah.
you can upload a bunch of different pics, but you'd have to have advice on like how to take a decent picture because like you'd have to have like you'd have to have a coherent style, you know, like like they'd have to be taken with similar, like you'd have to part of the app is we sell like a little photography booth with the app that like plugs on so you can get the perfect pic of the G and then the dick one as well, like put it in the box and it takes like a 3D full it takes a 3D scan of it, guy. That's the ticket.
Oh, so you can get like a 3D image of it.
And then on your phone, you just like you can like rotate around it. Oh, actually, I feel like that's probably. I don't know if that's too in depth. Let us know in the comments. How far should we take this?
I've sent a dick pic before, by the way. I've had experience sending a dick pic.
Who hasn't?
So one wasn't asked for, and I did it when I was mad young, and I was getting it stage ready. You know what I mean? I was getting my dick stage ready. You know what I mean? I was wiggling it to put more blood in it to make it look bigger. And then I flexed my abs as hard as I could, and I made sure like my dick looked as big as possible. And I sent her that pic. And then I looked at the pic after. I'm like, fuck, dude, I got it too stage ready. Now it looks like I have a small boner. You know what I mean? I was like, I fucked this picture up. I'm like, yo, I went for like a nice stage ready cock and I'm left with like a small boner because I didn't get it up all the way. It was like in the middle. I fucked up.
So it wasn't flaccid. It wasn't full and flaccid. It was like partially at attention, but just kind of looked a bit lame.
Yeah. So the reason why I did that is because like, yo, if it's this big when it's not up, imagine how big it is when it's up. That was like my stupid idea. Yeah. But anyways, another experience I have with a dick pic, this girl asked me for it, right? Because sending dick pics is kind of stupid. But if a girl asks you, like, fuck it, why not, right? So I sent it to her, and then I met up with her like a couple of weeks after that, and we had sex. And she's like, "Yo, I was kind of worried because like when I saw your dick pic, your dick looked mad small, but in real life, like it's good to go." And I'm like, no, you were right. My dick is mad small. Like it's not like any different in real life. But she thought that was fun. But she's okay. The one day she called it. I don't know. I think she was just bullshitting. I don't have a big dick. You know what I mean? Like I have an average size dick, and she would refer to it as a machete.
Yeah.
She would, and like I'm like, yo, I was thinking it's definitely not a fucking machete. Like I think she was just trying to make you feel good at that point, which is cool. But I also don't give a fuck about having a small dick.
So, it's all relative.
Either way. Yeah.
If you got a little dick, you just got to find someone with a little vagina.
I've had little vaginas.
There's a better
big
fit.
Vaginas too. 100%, guys. Sometimes you find like the perfect fit. It's like, oh,
Correct.
Fuck, this is the one. This is I'm gonna come back to this one for a little bit because
that was my G.
Yeah. Exactly. At other times I'm like, oh man, this is I'm wondering if she's realizing how small my cock is because like I'm barely feeling anything. You know what I mean? Actually, I had a girl once tell me. What's that?
The Amazonian woman.
Yeah. I actually have an embarrassing story. It's funny to me now though. I picked up this girl at the bar and I took her home, and she was kind of like not sure about banging or not. And at that point, I'm like, yo, like I already finished. Like I was already inside you and I already finished. And she was like, no, you weren't. And I'm like, yeah, I was. And she's like, what the fuck? She was mad confused. And I was mad confused.
You stuck up on it, dog.
Well, like we were going out for a while, and then we just banged, and then she was surprised that like she didn't feel anything. So,
big girl or little girl?
Medium girl. Medium girl, yeah.
But with a big.
My story sounded kind of rapey. That sounded fucking weird, didn't it? I don't know why it sounded rapey when I said it now, but it sounded fucked up.
Knowing you, it definitely wasn't. But yes, there is a way in which that could be considered like that. But look, at the same time, she just she might not have been aware that that's what was happening. As long as she wasn't like after the fact, she was like, "Damn it, I didn't give you permission."
No,
she definitely not.
She sucked my dick like 15 minutes after that. Yeah,
round two.
So, she sucked my dick 15 minutes after that, and like we hung out all night. Like we actually got along really well. In the morning, like, she was kind of sad because I didn't live in Ottawa, because I met her there when I was going to visit a friend. I lived in Toronto at the time, and I was kind of bummed out about it too. But I'm not going to move to fucking Ottawa. She's not going to move to Toronto. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Also, probably wasn't meant to be if like you giving it your best shot. She wasn't even necessarily aware that was your best shot. Like, probably not a match made in heaven, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
That's true. Ottawa vagina and Toronto dick didn't match.
No, guy, small Toronto dick. Those vaginas in Ottawa are too much heat for small. No,
okay. So I just got to bring this back because it just keeps hitting me in the head. Right? Seriously, is this a game that people would play? Match the face.
I would enjoy playing it. I think it'd be fun. Yeah,
I feel like it pulls on people's curiosity as well. Like you just like you mentioned. Like I'm genuinely, I would be curious about that. Like, what's my ability to infer breasts from a face? Or I'm not really that interested in dicks from a face, but like breasts from a face for sure. I don't really. Maybe vaginas from a face. I don't know. Breasts for sure. I feel like. That would be my
the titties and face make sense for some reason. Titties and face just seems like
would the best chicks be interested in picking dicks? Oh, like gay guys, they probably be interested in picking dicks from faces. Do we have to have a gay and a straight version?
No, I just think we have one version and people can use it like whoever the fuck can use it.
Okay, question then. Would you be okay if you uploaded dick pics or whatever and you had your face on there as well? Would you be okay with like gay dudes trying to pick your dick?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they get it, okay. And then if they get it, then they can message.
Oh, they can message me? No, I don't. No.
Okay, no. What about this? Okay, what about this? Right? If you, in order to participate on the app, you have to upload a certain number of face pic and dick pic or tit pic, whatever. Right? You got to upload your pics, and then if you pick someone's and they pick yours, and you match with them as well, then you can message each other. So then that way you're not going to be trying to pick dick pics for faces from guys. So you're not going to match with that dude. So you guys can't message. That's perfect. But if you match a chick, and you pick her, like you figure out her face and her breasts or whatever, and then she does it for you, and you both match, then you can message.
So there's various like facets to this app. I feel like even playing it with a group of friends would be funny. Like you're all trying to guess what it is.
Yeah. That's an interesting dynamic. Would that change your friendship? Or would that change like seeing everyone's tits and dicks and
like, I don't know if you would be seeing your friends' dicks on there, though. Like, if you're just playing with your friends, you're sitting together and you're trying to guess which tits match your which face. No, just like random people.
So you mean like you and your friends sit around and just play the app, not like playing it with each other, as in like trying to pick each other's.
No.
Okay, that was where I went.
Yeah, sorry, guy. Like, you get together to watch Here it is. Here, you get together to watch a UFC fight, right? And between fights, there's some time. So between fights, you're like, yo, you guys want to check out, I don't know, Google Face app or whatever? All right. And you just play for like 5-10 minutes. And
Face
then,
match.
go back to, yeah, it's something to like just piss away the time with your buddies that could be used for, like just a quick time thing. During a pre-drink, it might be fired up for like, 15 minutes or whatever.
So, okay, I think we've got this. So we start from, you first log on, you enter your preference, like what are you interested in? And then, so it'll be like, you can be heterosexual or bisexual, then you can get a sample of both. But it starts from the dick pic or the tit pic, right? You go through and you select a bunch of dicks you like the look of or tits you like the look of, right? And then from that, you get selections of faces, and you got to try and match your preferences to the faces. I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. Maybe that's not the direction then.
No, that seems like a thing, because then you match the face and you're like, oh, like, you can only have a certain amount of attempts, right? And you get like a new random sample each time, right? And then you can see like, oh, okay, this person has a face that I like and a dick that I like, or a tit that I like. Some people be able to have both guys with them chest feeding. Have you seen that with the dudes chest feeding now instead of breastfeeding? They don't want to be discriminatory.
No, I know it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. I mean, there's supposed to be a woman baby connection. Like there's a hormonal connection. There's like this. I mean, the mother's supposed to physically breastfeed the baby.
It's also nourishing when it comes out of the breast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Female breast. I'm not sure about the nourishment coming out of a male milk.
Yeah. Speaking of breast milk.
Yeah, go.
I saw a recent Steve Will Do It video on Rumble, and he went to Japan and he paid to get breastfed from 2 different girls in this room. He just goes to this place and he's video carrying himself.
From the nipple? Like he suckled it like a baby?
Yeah, from 2 different girls. So here, it's a quick
Japanese
story.
girls?
Yeah, 2 Japanese girls.
Oh.
So this is here's what he did. He gets to Japan, he finds this place, he finds out that he can pay someone, to breastfeed him. And he goes into this room, it's a very small room, and they tell him you can only go in with your camera. So he's filming himself, like vlog style. And these 2 Japanese girls come in. The first girl's like, okay, listen, I don't have a lot of time. So, like that's what she says, which is hilarious because like,
it just
isn't. Yeah. It's not like it's not giving like a good quality service to the client, to be honest. But that's how she handled it. I guess because he had the camera and she's like, yo, like, let's just fucking do it for your content sort of thing. Maybe that could have been it too. And yeah, she just like squeezed it and it squirted into his mouth. And then the other girl actually put her nipple in his mouth. And then, he drank some milk. And then he asked if he could fill up this little bottle. What's that?
Got a clip of this?
We can't. I don't know how it's going to fly with YouTube showing
like
Steve
5
Will
seconds.
Do it.
Isn't it just like less than 5 seconds?
Steve Will Do It's not allowed on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Shit, we might get banned.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we would, because we're like a really small channel. But here's the thing. Nelk Boys don't include him in any, well, they do include him, but they don't post it on their YouTube channel. He's not in any podcasts, and he's not allowed in any of their videos either. Like he's not allowed in any of their content. So I'm assuming he's not just banned from Nelk, but he's banned from YouTube is what I think it is. But people can go look at it on Rumble. It was like posted like a month ago, I believe.
Jesus Christ.
I find his videos sort of entertaining, but one thing he did recently, I wasn't really down with. He did a prank call where they're prank calling this guy's mom on the phone, And what they'd said is that your son is being charged with trying to solicit a minor, a 9-year-old boy, is what they said. And Steve will do his buddy, gets on the phone and calls the guy's mom, and the guy's here, right? And he calls the mom, he starts explaining, and he says, listen, I have your son here if you want to talk to him. Passes the phone to the son, and the son's like, yeah, I fucked up, I'm sorry. And the mom's like, you're going to fucking jail, like you fucked up. You know what I mean? The dad gets on the phone, and it went on, and it was uncomfortable, actually. After about 2 minutes, I was like, yo, I'm going to fucking close this video because I don't want to watch any more of this. But at the same time, I'm like, how the fuck is this going to end? Because it's not even like a good prank.
They got you, guy. They got you good.
And I feel kind of embarrassed, actually, that I watched the entire prank because it's kind of cringy because it's not like a good joke. It's just not like I don't know. I don't know why I don't find that funny. Do you find that funny, that prank?
No, not at all. I'm not a big prank guy.
The Japanese guy at the very end, he got he paid this Japanese guy 15 grand, I think it was, or 10 grand to say sorry. And when the Japanese guy got on the phone, he told the mom and dad that it's just a joke and he's very sorry. But he said it in like a very heavy Japanese accent. He didn't speak very good Japanese. And I'll be honest, at that part, I fucking laughed because I don't know, that part specifically was funny, but the whole thing like
was bad.
In total was, yeah, I don't know. I like Steve will do it, but like that was fucked up. I think he fucked up with that one. But it is what it is. Who cares? He posts so much shit. He's gonna fuck up once in a while. He's taking risks on a lot of things that he does, so you can't really judge him for that. I think he knows. He's smart.
On the Japan thing, back again, I was also had my mind blown when I found out that in Japan, there are these places you can go and you pay, and then the women in these businesses, their whole job is to cuddle you. Like you lie down in kind of like fetal position, and they just hug you. And that's the service.
Yeah.
That's it. People pay for that. I was like, wait, what? But the fact that you can get breastfed in Japan freaks me out a little bit. Like there are some seriously interesting kinks that happen over there, right?
Yeah, they're very open sexually in that way. So I actually heard some insight as to why that is, that there's so many of these services for men.
Why?
So one of the reasons is that women aren't dating men like before. They're not feeling a need to date men, I believe. Or there was more women than there is men, or that people are really busy, that they don't have time for dating like they used to. Or I think it's a mix of all three. But one of the thing, sorry, I'm kind of fucking this up, but the main reason is that men were feeling lonely. So cuddling services became like a thing because men were having a very difficult time finding a mate for, any of the above reasons I mentioned, or all three simultaneously. And that's why you have some of these sexual like things available. They even have, I heard they had a vending machine before. Story I heard a long time ago, so I don't know if this still exists, where you could buy panties that were worn by schoolgirls. So you could like,
what?
Yeah. I heard that there was a vending machine with that product in it.
This is crazy.
That was kind of dark. I feel like anytime you fuck with like minors, it's dark. Like anything.
Surely
that's why I don't like the Steve will do it joke.
Can't be. Yeah. Surely it can't be. It's actual school kids. That's fucked up. Surely it's
maybe
just
it's university
like
girls.
Yeah. They'd have to be a legal age. Well, you assume that they'd be of legal age. Otherwise, that's just bonkers.
Yeah, I don't know.
That.
I don't know. But like look at some of the anime in Japan, right? They sexualize like younger anime characters in TV shows and anime shows.
Yeah,
they sexualize them immensely.
And they're
underage.
They're big on the boobies, man. Like if you see like some of the anime stuff, there's just like, and there's like the milk jugs and like all this, like it's interesting.
Yeah. Even Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Well, like all the anime, like remember, wasn't there like, what was the genre of anime that was like R-rated?
Oh, Kentai? No.
Yeah, was it hentai? Hentai.
Hentai.
Yeah. That shit was weird as fuck. I remember, I would have only been like 17 or 18 maybe. And I don't know where I saw this, but I just remember there was this like an anime thing, and there was this like giant monsters that would come out. They had these tentacles, or like every one of the tentacles just looked like a giant dick. And it would like wrap the girls up, and then it would just be like spewing like, spoof, but not spoof. Like, I don't know. It was just like hella. And I remember watching it. Is this? And that was it. It was that hentai stuff. Freak.
Yeah, hentai.
Is that what it is?
I've seen some hentai shit myself.
Yeah, but like everything ends up looking like a giant dick or vagina. And it's like over the top, like so extreme anyway. There's some odd stuff happening in Japan here in regards to that.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like we should launch Face Match in Japan first.
Oh shit, guy. An anime version of Face Match in Japan.
That'd probably be easy to do.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea though, because it's not real. It doesn't give the same effect like you were saying earlier. It has to be real.
Yeah, but like who cares? Maybe
if it works, it works, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe people don't care because there is AI generated girlfriends now that people are launching, like famous people. I think I heard this one girl. I don't know if she's a streamer or and what platform she's on, so I apologize. But she basically took all of her channel's recordings of her talking, and they put it in an AI, and they were able to generate like her basically, so you can like chat with her, and she sends, and these voice notes come to your phone, so you can write a message and you receive a voice note in her voice, and it's all AI generated. Yeah, and they have it in a way where you can't just ask like for like fucked up shit. You actually have to like treat her well before like she gives you more explicit stuff, and she can also break up with you is what I heard.
That's pretty cool.
And people are paying for it.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. It's very fascinating. Have you seen I think I sent you the tweet in regards to this with the big streamers who are just like, they stream but they do like video game actions. And
dude.
And then people like tip them and they're like, thank you.
No, dude, you fucked me up. You fucked me up with that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, hey?
Yeah, it fucked me up. That one, that was in my head like for most of the day, and I was trying to forget about it. And the one comment was, I watched this 30 times. I'm like, yo, no, can't watch it that many times. That's crazy. No, guy, don't worry. I like shit like that fucks with me because I like being fucked with. But yo, that one fucks me up, God.
But that's an interesting thing, hey? Like, so these streamers now are just like, they're essentially like mimicking video game characters and the movements and the behaviors of video game characters and the catchphrases. Just repetitively on a live stream, and people pay to tune into it, or like, because they can send them certain things. They pay to get them to act a certain way. That's a fascinating thing, hey?
Yeah. What was it? Someone was sending her like food emojis, and she was like,
yeah. Yeah. Spicy.
I don't know what else she was doing. I just remember the
yeah.
And like this weird like, it's cringy. Oh, she had the elf ears too, right?
Yeah. And the filters.
Yeah, it was strange. Oh yeah, the whole thing was wacky.
150,000 likes and like however many people tuning in, like, and they're paying to do that. I think it's on TikTok that you do this, but very fascinating. The world is changing rapidly.
Yeah, welcome to the acceleration.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good luck, and hopefully you survive.
Have you ever seen the movie where Comet is coming to Earth and everyone is just like,
Don't Look Up?
Is it Don't Look Up? It's with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't know. I can't even remember.
There's a comet coming to Earth, and I don't really remember it too well, but I just remember people were just behaving in these mad fucked up ways, and like everybody was really fucking retarded.
Yeah, Don't Look Up.
Everyone was meant to be. Yeah, so everybody was just meant to be that way, and was just acting like just completely fucking insane. And I remember watching the movie like, yo, this is a documentary. People are like this. It's not a comedy. Like, well, it is, right? But People are like, oh my God,
comedy
this
of
is so
errors.
crazy. No. Like, this is how the world is. And it's going to be worse than that. Yeah, it's
So
mad
the
funny.
interesting thing about that that streaming phenomenon with it essentially pretending to be AI, like that's humans mimicking AIs in a sense, not AIs mimicking humans. That's free.
Whoa, that's a trippy thought, dude.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's a trippy thought.
So like she's
Wow.
replicating all these like movements that characters in video games, or I assume video games, television, cartoons do, or anime does. But that's a human acting like that, like copying the games essentially, as opposed to the other way around, where it's the game's trying to, like what the AI is trying to replicate human behaviors.
Wow. Is this like some foreshadowing?
I don't know. It's just weird. It's just interesting. Like, 10 years ago, would you have thought that would be a job that you could do and make money from? I'd say no. But it's a thing these days. And there's another one. There was an African-American chick, and she had like a hair straightener, and she was doing the same thing. And in the hair straightener, she'd put like a piece of popcorn, and she'd cook it in the hair straightener. And then it was cool.
That's I don't know. It is what it is, guy. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know what to say about it.
I don't know. We need to think about it more.
Yeah, I mean the younger generations, I guess, are really, they decide on these like interesting trends of very simple shit, simple repetitive shit, because the whole video is of her doing the same actions and sounds over and over. And I was wondering, like, how long is she going to be doing this for? Like, is this a couple hours? Because that seems mad tiring. Like, it looks like she's putting in the work to those movements and the actions and the repetition. It seems, wow, it seems difficult to do, actually.
Well, I think for us it would be for sure, but for her, it's just like, it's the same. It's a loop. And so she just like is essentially every time something happens, she's reacting to it, and she's already got predefined reactions that she does. And so it's probably quite efficient on her end.
Why do you think simpler shit is getting cooler and cooler? Like, the simpler it is, the more cool it is. The more less effort it is, the more these kids like it. Like, I mean, look at the trend on TikTok.
I don't know if this is exactly what you mean, but I don't know. I kind of think that the more rules, or the safe, like, okay, so the more rules that governing bodies put in place, the more safety measures and different things like that, the more retarded parts of the population can become. Like, and I mean that in a technical sense of being held back. And I don't know that. Is there a correlation between increased rules and control and the simplicity of the minds of the people in those control structures, essentially? So, like, is it appealing because it's just incredibly, like, does it appeal to a lot of people because it's simple and that's what they're looking for, or that's what they can understand? I don't know. But I definitely. Like, when I saw that, I was like, what is this? This is like so different. I've never seen this before. And I was like, this is all this is. This is, in my opinion, this is crazy. That there's a huge amount of human attention and computation being allocated to this. Like, wow. Kind of interested to understand why it emerges. Because like, I can't imagine, like, to me, that's just like the last thing I'd want to spend my time doing is watching that. But like, I did watch it for a period because it was so different and shocking, if that makes sense,
It's like a train wreck.
Yeah.
Can't take your eyes off it. But you watched like a minute-long video.
Correct.
It's different. It's more of like a curiosity of what is out there and what is popular. Also a way to sort of understand what's going on. What's the younger generation up to? That's not the only thing they're up to, but it's one of the things that they're up to. And
well, I'm also interested is like, okay, like, who are the people spending their time doing this? And like, sort of, why are they spending their time doing this? Like, what is it doing for them? That's the interesting thing to me. Because I'm like, seems just like very nothing. Like, there's like nothing to it. It's just the same things repeated over and over again, but it must be calming or like satisfying, or I don't know. It's a very strange phenomenon. It might be like from me, from my perspective.
Do you think it's basically just because adults don't like it?
No, I don't think so. I think that it's definitely appealing to people on a deeper level for some reason.
So you don't think it's like a rebellious behavior? Like they know that this is, it's wacky.
Maybe.
And they're not supposed to be doing it. Like it's not, they're not supposed to be wasting their time doing it. So it's kind of like it's like rebellious in a way.
Maybe.
Doing it and consuming it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like there could be an element of control where, like, because you can buy these things for this person, you can get someone to do something that you're wanting them to do in some way, which is, and I think that's I don't know. Like, there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff. It'll be interesting in the future to see like papers published about this phenomenon and whether or not it sticks around.
Yeah. I imagine some of the people doing it are straight up, they just see the numbers. They're doing it for business purposes. Hopefully they do something, they evolve from that with the money they make from that and do something else, because that's not going to be for everything. So that's like, that would be like my advice. It's
interesting. It's going to be mad interesting to see where this goes. But essentially, like, you're just logging on for a certain period of time each day where people can just like buy you stuff or get you to say certain things, and that's what you do, and you can make money. I just was shocked at how many people tune into those things. I don't know. I feel like, is there really not much else that people could be doing with their time? That's like, well, like, I think that'd be very low on the list of things that I would want to spend my time doing. But that's me. I'm not those other people. So I'm interested to see the difference in our worldviews or world roles.
Yeah. Well, I understand, because it's not productive in a sense, because it's not really putting anything positive out in the world. Is kind of,
yeah, I don't see that. I'm not aware of the productive uses of it yet. There could be. Maybe it's a really valuable thing for a certain population of people, or maybe it helps people with anxiety, or I don't know. But it's just like, it was so different from anything I've ever seen before. I was like, what the fuck? And it kind of looks like a poker machine in some sense. Like, it's very gamified, if that makes, like, it was very interesting in the fact that it was so different from anything else I'd ever seen.
I find it interesting that you say that it could help with anxiety. I almost feel like it could cause anxiety.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like, for some people, I feel like that's probably cathartic. That like repetition, that same happen. Sort of, I don't know. It was, it'd be interesting to explore the space. But yes, this is what the future holds for us, guy. We're like you said, we're on the wave. We're on the wave and of the acceleration. So things are probably only going to get weirder from here.
Let us know in the comments what you think of this style of podcast, where we have more, banterish shit, wacky shit. Let us know if you would rather us speak about certain topics as well. Because straight up, like, I feel like we're having a little bit of a difficult time growing this channel. So we would appreciate any help. Like, if anyone has any suggestions for us, we would be more than happy to receive them.
Yes, well said. Shoot the shit. I'm sort of a fan of the shoot the shit. I like it. It's fun for me to talk about all these different things. Or just like more specific topics. But I think the main thing is, as long as we maintain our curiosity and we keep exploring it and recording, if it's of interest to people, then it will become popular. But I feel like it's a time game. But I think the main thing is, as long as you and I both have fun doing it, having these conversations, which I do, I enjoy this, then it's a win for us.
All right, make sure to subscribe to let us know that we're idiots. Give a like on the video, and share it with your friends.
And thanks for listening. Peace.
All right, love you, bro. Peace.
See you, guy.